Adam.
Hi.
The whole Megadads community has been salivating like a starving animal looking at a prize hunk of sweaty meat.
That's me.
Megadads Live is a mature-rated podcast. It's for the Megadads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
We've been craving details about your trip yonder across the pond. Like, what happened? Like, you left, you abandoned us, you took your family to Japan, and I think I saw like one video so far. What's going on?
There is going to be a absolute buttload of video content rolling out over the next several weeks, maybe even months, because I took I emptied out my camera roll on my phone before I went.
Smart.
Very so I'm like,
smart.
I mean, we've got it all backed up to, cloud and stuff. And anyway, but I was like, I'm just going to purge my phone. And I have, if I look at my camera roll, 1,136.
Okay. That's not bad.
Between 3 phones. But a lot of that is video. So you're going to see stuff from the Pokemon Center. You're going to see stuff from the Kirby Cafe. You're going to see stuff from Akihabara, Cat Cafe, Shinjuku, all sorts of shit. It was amazing. It was really, really pretty much everything that I wanted it to be. I was a little worried the first day we arrived. We got off the plane, grabbed our luggage, and rather than taking a taxi or a bus to the hotel, I said, "Well, let's just take the train." There's a monorail right there in the airport that'll take you to the train station, which you can hop on, the regular metro, and then take that pretty much straight to the hotel. So it'll be super easy, no problem. And it would have been, except we got there at rush hour.
Oh.
And I don't know if anybody has watched video or done any sort of research on what the trains are like in Tokyo when it's busy. They pack you into the train. There's thousands of people shuffling in and shuffling out. And it's me and my wife and our 2 kids. And we each have like 2 suitcases. Like we each have like baggage, right? And so we did it. It was fine. But like we got back to the hotel, checked in, kind of decompressed, got ready for bed. And I kind of like laid there that first night, like, what did I do? Like, what have I gotten my family into? Because it's a lot. It is a lot to absorb. But by the time we left, they were so fluent in getting around that city, hopping the train, making connections. Like
that is so cool.
My kids did fantastic. No complaining.
They were on their best behavior?
Best behavior. Like absolute best behavior. I think maybe we had like 2 moments where they got a little snippy and, like kids do. Other than that, like they were at their best. And we did a lot. Like the first couple of days, we had our schedule packed from start to finish. Couple of days in, we kind of realized that we're going to need some breaks in here because it's a lot of walking. It's a lot of running around. It's a lot of just like stimulation from everything happening. So about halfway through, we check back at the hotel, take a nap, get up, do it again. And then by the end, it was balls hot. Like
really
absolutely sweltering heat and humidity. When we came home, it was really, really hot here as well. So I don't know what it's like in Chicago right now, but it's been
pretty, it's
hot
nice.
and humid. But you get that ocean humidity down there over there. So when it's hot and it's humid, we were stopping back at the hotel multiple times a day to shower and change and go back out and do it again. But dude, it was so good. It was so good.
I have 2 questions. Okay. Mm-hmm. These are the most important things to me.
Okay.
Number 1, what was the standout highlight moment? And number 2 is talk to me about the toilet technology and your experience relieving yourself.
I'm going to take number 2 first.
You always take number 2 first.
I gotta say, it ruined shitting for me. It absolutely.
What do they got?
They got the best. They got the most technologically advanced seat warming, heated bidet. Like everything is primo. And not just in the hotel, like everywhere. You go to a freaking public toilet in McDonald's, it's got a heated seat with a warm bidet. I come home, I'm shitting like a caveman. Like I feel like I've gone back 3 decades ever since I've come home. I don't even want to poop anymore, and my body recognizes it. Like I'm not even pooping normally anymore because my body knows I'm not going to get that deluxe experience.
I ordered the deluxe experience.
The duties in Tokyo are unmatched. In America, you don't want to even think about a public restroom, right? They're just horrific experiences. It's like walking into that room in the first Saw where there's just like blood and grime and limbs and fluids everywhere. That's what public bathrooms are like in America. In Japan, it is like, I can't even describe how wonderful it is to take a shit in Japan, dude. It's amazing. So that's number 2. Number 1, my standout experience, I would have to say would be, and folks can Google this, it's called Team Lab Planets.
What
Team
the
Lab,
hell is
one
this?
word, and then planets. There are 2 of these interactive art exhibits in the Tokyo area. There's Team Lab Borderless and Team Lab Planets. And we went to this Team Lab Planets. And what it is you walk into this big building, and it's an interactive art exhibit that's divided into like 4 sections. There's a water section, a forest section, a garden section, and an air section. And it's kind of like the elements, right? It's kind of like divided by the elements. And each of these sections of the exhibit have interactive hologram projections, lighting. You jump on the displays, you touch the displays. It's kind of like if you take a science museum, a children's museum, and a Pink Floyd laser light exhibit and blend them all together. So I'll run down really quick. My favorite was the water. Team Lab Planets water segment. You walk in and there's a locker room and they say you got to take off your shoes, you've got to wash your feet, and you have to be in shorts, and you can't wear a skirt. So if you have a skirt on, they'll provide you with shorts, but they want your knees down, naked, right?
This is crazy.
You sit down, you put your stuff in the locker, your backpack, your shoes, your socks, whatever you got, throw them in the locker, and then they lead you into a hallway that is pitch black except for glowing red running lights along the floor. And you walk up this incline in this hallway, which is a river. So they're running water down this floor as you're walking this incline, and there's a waterfall at the end. You can hear the waterfall. There's like new wave lo-fi music kind of playing in the background. It's very soothing. It's very zen. It's very relaxing. Then as you turn the corner after that hallway, you step into a pool, which is about halfway up your calves, up your shins. So it's almost up to your knee. It's warm water. It's this big, dark room with mirrored walls. And in the water, they're projecting colored koi fish. Hundreds and hundreds of koi fish that are swimming in the water, but they're not real. They look absolutely 100% real if koi fish were like radioactive and glowing colors. Think Tetris Effect. You know how everything like glows and is super trippy in Tetris Effect? It's that, but it's fish in the water. And they react to you. So they'll swim around you. They'll move around you. And if you touch them, if you kick them or you put your hand in the water and you splash through them, they'll dissolve, like they turn to paint, and then they'll just like poof in the water. And so you can touch them and change their behavior. And you're in this room with all these other people, and the water's warm and the music's gentle and soothing. And there's all these glowing neon fish swirling around you. We spent probably a half an hour in that room alone because what do my kids love most in the world? Swimming. This isn't swimming, but like it's like wading around with laser fish. And they ran through that thing and played and splashed, and it was the absolute most surreal experience. The rest of the exhibit is much the same. They'll project laser animals or abstract shapes on the walls and the ceilings and on the floor. You touch things and you manipulate things, and it's just this walkthrough event, this experience. So it's really hard to explain. But
I'm
people
super stunned.
should Google it, YouTube it, to get a better idea of what I'm talking about. But it's Team Lab Planets in Tokyo. I believe this Team Lab company has exhibits all around the world. I don't believe there are any in America, but I think they have other exhibits throughout the world. And if anybody listening to this has one within reach, or you're planning a vacation, dude, you got to do it. They say it takes 2 hours. We were there 4 because it's just. You just guide yourself through the environments, and you can do things repeatedly or as long as you want. And it was a great time.
What type of technology are we talking about here? Because what you're describing seems like not possible.
Not possible, right?
Yeah. So what is this? This is holograms. This is light.
It's light. So like if you look up at the ceiling, there's just rows and rows and rows of projections. And there must be some sort of, like a speed trap. The cops, they shoot the invisible laser, and so when something comes by, they can tell where it is and how fast it's going. There must be something like that detects where you are in relation to the light that you're trying to touch. And so it must send a signal back to the projectors to tell the computer to have whatever it's projecting act a certain way.
This is wild. All in real time.
There's no
like lag. Because, like if you go to our museums here, there are some things like the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. There's like butterflies that will be on the wall and they can land on you. And that's it, though. And you can see the projector shooting at the wall, and it's shooting in your eyes as well. It's almost like it's projecting onto you.
Yeah.
And then if you move next to the wall, it gives like the illusion of kind of like you're standing next to a canvas, and then the butterflies can like land on you and then move off. But what you're describing is
it's a little bit more intense.
It's insane what you're describing. So I hope we can put some clips on the YouTube version, the video version of this podcast, to kind of show what's going on here, because it needs to be seen to be understood. You're describing a fever dream.
Yeah, it's like if you take mushrooms and then go to a laser light concert. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, please, this is an episode that you want to go to the YouTube and really watch it, because I'll put, like you said, I'll put clips in so people kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about. But it was insane. I'll be talking more about Japan throughout the weeks. Like I said, the videos are going to be just dropping nonstop on youtube.com/Megadad. So people should really check it out, because we did a lot. We did so much. Hey, everybody, it's time to take a quick time out and thank the members of Megadad's Boost for bringing this episode of Megadad's Live to your eyes and to your ears. Megadad's has been going 11 years strong, and we can't do it without the support of our Boost members. So this is the part of the show where I give a great big thank you to those who are already enrolled, and I encourage you to sign up as well at patreon.com/Megadads. It only takes $1 a month, and you get amazing perks, including every episode of Megadad's Live boosted 5 days early and completely ad-free, which means if you're a Boost member, you don't have to listen to me do this crap every single week. We love our members of Megadad's Boost, and we encourage everyone to join the ranks. Our Boost members for the month of January 2025 are Craig Campbell, Joseph, Eric Wood, Spokes, Emily Smith, Brent, John DiFrancesco, Estuardo Zenteno, Brendan Myers, Brandon Wilson, The Snack Network, Dave Soto, Jesse Waldack, Timothy Alf, Andy Penzick, Luke Porter, David Snyder, the Bafo Yucks Dudes, Justin Masson, and the Nintendo Dads Podcast. Thank you so much to our Boost members for supporting Megadads with as much as they can every single month. But hey, if you don't have the extra scratch, you can join Megadad's Boost for free and just be a part of the community. Those awesome folks hanging out in the free tier at Megadad's Boost are Victaris GX, Silara Clark, the Coconut Wizard, Avi Cohen, One Track Gamers, John Layola, Michael Kwan, Sonny Megatron, Nima, Petey McD, Mike Salvino, and Brian Scott. Thank you all for your continued support of Megadads. And if you don't want to be a part of the Megadads Boost community, anything you can do to help promote Megadads to your friends and family would be greatly appreciated. That's enough out of me. Thanks again. Back to the show. And then I came back to America. And you know, today is the 4th of July. We're celebrating America. And I thought, you and I are of like minds. We know what's going on. We know this country's on fire. And I thought to myself, rather than celebrate in America, you and I would talk about everything that's wrong with America. I was like, man, I want to do a list of the top 5 worst things about this country to celebrate the 4th of July. And I said, no, Adam, you're so biased. You have such a strong opinion about everything. You should go to a third party. And so I decided to go to one of the things that I think is the worst thing about America, which is AI. I went and I used the Google AI overview to search the top 5 worst things about America in 2025. I want to see what AI thinks is so wrong with the country.
Oh my
So
God.
we're going to go through this list, and you and I are going to weigh in on whether or not we think this is an accurate depiction according to AI. The number 5 worst thing in America in 2025 is gun violence. That's pretty spot on. I think violence is there literally was a political assassination in not only my home state, but in my city while I was gone. The shooting shit is out of control in this country. So I would agree with that. Number 4 worst thing about America in 2025 is challenges in healthcare.
I was at a thing with like people at my job, and we were discussing about, it's a big safety culture there. And it came up this topic of not calling the ambulance because ambulances are so expensive.
Yep.
Like if people are conscious and emergencies happen, it is a prevalent thing, a very, very common thing that, especially if you're aware of the cost, like as soon as people are aware, they do not call the ambulance because it's so expensive. You don't want to have an emergency room bill in this country because they're astronomically
It'll
large.
devastate you.
That's I've made the decision, and do we call or not, and said no, my personal self, and my family members have as well. I think that's a good, one of the aspects of it. But
I told my wife, I'm like, you piggyback my ass to the hospital. Like no ambulance. You Death Stranding me. You strap me to your back and you walk there, because we can't afford that. Number 3 worst thing in America in 2025, climate change. Boy, this is the shit. When you really think about when we were kids, I don't remember worrying about like how much of the world around me was on fire. But damn, every summer it is nothing but wildfire smoke and smog. You hear about, California's been burning to the ground for forever. Climate change is just devastating this country. Huge storms down south. This list is pretty damn accurate. I'm actually kind of impressed. Number 2 is political polarization and distrust.
No, you don't say.
No, I mean, that's a slam dunk, right? I was really happy to hear that Donald Trump's parade just flamed out while I was gone. Like, I was pretty disconnected when I was over there, but that one trickled through, and that made my day. That his little birthday military parade was just an absolute wet fart.
He hated it.
And the number 1 worst thing about America in 2025 is economic inequality. Would you agree with that as a number 1?
Well, there's everything, the price of everything goes up. It's our own design, right? It's like, hey, let's do tariffs on ourselves. It's money's tight, and every single person who could charge you more is first they would find a reason why, and then it just kind of goes out the window. It's like, we're going to charge you more because we can. We're going to give you less. We're going to shrinkflation your food, where your food portions go down for the amount of money you pay. They're fighting to reduce the regulations to make things like, food and our air quality, all these things, the quality is going down. and the prices are going up and pay across the board, we're not getting paid more over time, even though the cost of living is going up. So 100% I agree. I mean, it's just facts.
I came home and my first day back on the job, they had laid off 10 people while I was gone because the tariffs are absolutely crushing my job. So the interesting thing that I find about this is that a lot of this stuff, actually all of this stuff, is rolled into politics. Climate change is not getting any better because of politics. Challenges in healthcare are getting worse because of politics. Gun violence is worse because of it's all a self-own. America is the ultimate self-owned country where we vote against our own interests and we put people in power that, when we talk about inequality being number one, they want to push a certain class lower down, and they want to lift up only a few. And I thought it was appropriate on the 4th of July episode that we acknowledge that America is a flaming turd.
The place to be for Megadads socials is the Megadads Discord, where you can engage with your favorite Megadads as well as other friends of the Megadads every single day in our stress-free and welcoming social space. When you're a member of our Discord, you will get alerts for all of our content drops, so you never have to miss a review, a podcast, or a hot take. Partake in our fun weekly Megadads holidays like Waluigi Wednesday and Final Fantasy Sunday. Megadads Discord is fun, free, and follows you wherever you go. Join us today and become part of the conversation.
You want to talk about a video game? Death Stranding 2 on the beach. This is like the summertime Death Stranding,
What an interesting subtitle.
It is so hilarious. Death Stranding on the beach. It makes sense in the context of the narrative being played, but it is a funny title, and it is a funny game. Not like funny haha, but like, this game is so fucking weird. Before we start talking about Death Stranding 2, do you have any exposure to the original Death Stranding? What's your knowledge foundation on Death Stranding? Because that's really going to dictate how I tell you about this game.
So I played Death Stranding 1. I played it very late, like after everyone else played it. I picked it up. I got into the gameplay and started to understand about the traversal, trying to be efficient, using the tools at your disposal to get to places that are out of reach, and enjoyed it. But I felt like it was more of the same, like almost like, okay, I went there and then I got a story beat and now I'm going to travel again.
Yeah.
But it felt like once you start running into the human enemies and then that combat, I guess you could call it combat, that gameplay just didn't like grab me and addict me. But then the other enemies, the black globs and stuff, it was very like intense and heart pounding. But again, I did not walk away from these moments where you're trying to get out of the goo and say, I want to do this for like 30 more hours. So I only played, I want to say, I remember exactly where I stopped. I got to the scenery had changed, like the topography changed visually. It was getting, things were unlocking more, like things that you can do, like more items. But then I said to myself, am I really enjoying the gameplay moment to moment that much? And then I kind of fell off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll watch the story synopsis later. The best part for me, honestly, was like the music, how it's used, when it was introduced. I was, kind of brings a tear to your eye almost, like how good it was. And those were the moments that were like keeping me going. But in the end, it did not continue to grab me. So I bounced.
Yeah. So the original Death Stranding is about you're a mailman. You're a mailman in the apocalypse. And not only are you delivering packages as you crisscross America, but you're connecting people to a network to try to reestablish community. The whole world has been broken off and separated because of this apocalyptic event known as the Death Stranding. The worlds between the living and the dead have been merged in an unnatural way, and because of that, the entire world is fractured and broken apart. And so as you're walking from one end of America to the other, you're reestablishing the connections, the bridges between people in the world. Death Stranding 2 is, from a gameplay perspective, very similar to the first game, but what they do, I mean, it's still more delivering packages. It's still more big, scary ghost monsters around you, all tied together by a convoluted, weird-ass story. But what this game does so far in my first 5 hours, because I did just start playing this game, what it does very apparently right off the bat is it gives you all of the best mechanics that took you like an entire game to get in the first one. It gives you that stuff way faster. The vehicles, they start giving you vehicles much sooner. They start giving you equipment to help you optimize your loadout and help you carry things and help you fight more. And the combat, the action of this game is also way more front and center than it was in the first one, and done way better. So you can tell that they've taken a lot more Metal Gear and put it into Death Stranding. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Death Stranding 1 did not have a lot of combat, and what was there was not very fun, very clunky. They've worked on that a lot in Death Stranding 2, and they've made it much more accessible, and they've made it much more a part of the experience. So far within 5 hours, I'm on episode 4 right now. So I've done a multitude of missions, and they are much more diverse. So there are certainly missions where all it is like navigating the terrain, because that was the big part of Death Stranding 1 was I got to bring some climbing rope, I got to bring some ladders, I got to bring this and that to help me just navigate across the world. There still is that in this game, but there's also a lot more like stealth missions. Like I've got to infiltrate this base and take out all the bad guys around me before I can deliver my package to the person who's like at the core of the base. I've done big boss battles with some of these giant monstrosity BTs, which is what they call the ghosts in this game, BTs. So there's a lot more diversity in what you're doing. And the world and the engine and the graphics in this game are insane. You talked about atmosphere in the first Death Stranding. This one's got it up the ass. The music is just as good. They still have those moments where you're all by yourself climbing across a mountain ridge, and then the music just starts swelling in, and it's all like licensed indie rock kind of music, just like the last game. So it gives you that boost of, I'm halfway there. I'm going to keep on trucking, got to keep on going. And the graphics are insane. This thing fried my PlayStation. I want to talk about this for a minute. I have a base PS5. The night this game came out, I came home and I fired it up, and it auto shut down my PS5 after like a half hour. I'm like, what the hell? So I fired it back up, did it again. The first night it did it like 5 times. I don't know exactly the cause of it, because ever since then, it hasn't done it at all. It could be a combination of my PS5 being dirty. I took the plates off and I blew out the fans, cleaned it up, that kind of thing. It could be the fact that my son was home from school playing Fortnite for 7 hours in a row. I don't know. But this thing is like pushing the limits of my PS5, and it overheated it multiple times on the first night. I don't know if that's going to be a widespread occurrence that other people have, but ventilate those PS5s and clean them out, because this thing is going to push it to the limits. I've heard a lot of people say, like, this is the reason to get a PS5 Pro. Well, I don't have $700. I don't have the money to get a PS5 Pro. So yeah, it pushes your PS5. World building in this game, it's Kojima. Everybody knows it's super weird, right? Don't ask me to explain the plot of the first Death Stranding. It's more a game that you like have to just kind of let wash over you. feel the feels, right? You know why you're doing the things you're doing. You might not know all the details, but like just take in the weird absurdity of this world and its characters. My favorite of which is a guy named Dollman. I don't know if you've seen Dollman in any of the trailers.
It's a puppet.
It's a fucking puppet.
Is it human?
It's possessed by a lost soul. So a guy died.
What do you mean?
A guy died, and his soul went into this little puppet who's named Dollman, who you carry around on a keychain hanging off of your belt. Right? You take this little doll guy, and he talks to you, kind of like the head in God of War. You know how you like Kratos attaches that head to his belt, and the head talks to him as he goes around the world. He's kind of like that. He hangs on your little belt and he talks to you and he gives you tricks and tips as you're going around. I was just doing this mission and Dollman says, you know, Sam, I can help you with recon. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, just send me off into the world and I can show you what's up ahead. I'm like, what the hell do you mean send you off into the world? So I equipped the little doll guy like you would equip anything like a gun or whatever. And it says, hold down L to aim.
No way.
So I'm winding him up like a baseball, and then you throw him into the air, and he becomes a drone. And so you throw this guy, and all of a sudden you're in his perspective, and you hear him screaming. He's like, ah! And he flies up into the air, and then he starts hovering there, and you can control his line of sight, and he's looking down on the world, and he's scoping out for bad guys. He can tag things. He's like a drone in like a Tom Clancy game or something. But he's a little talking puppet man. And then
so Kojima doesn't give a shit, right?
He don't give no shits, man.
He just had the idea. It's like, so is this magic or is it technology? So you said it's a soul.
It's supernatural.
Entering.
It's supernatural.
Okay, it's soul supernaturally possesses a puppet that can transform into a drone.
Yeah.
And it talks.
And it talks to you, and it gives you all sorts of advice about what to do. And then you call him back down, and he falls from the sky, and you catch him, and then you clip him on your belt, and he's just good to go.
Is this what's going on? Is this why people are praising the game because it's batshit crazy, or is it the graphics? Because people are saying things like, Game of the Year. People are saying that it is a masterpiece. People are saying it's incredibly inventive, full of shock and awe, bizarre, and a spectacle. What is it? What is
all of
the
that.
sauce? It's the puppet like shit where they're just crazy shit happening. Is that what it is?
It's all of that. So it's the weirdness is cranked up to 11. So if you're a person, I was a dude who I loved Metal Gear Solid. I loved Metal Gear Solid, the first game.
Yeah.
Every Metal Gear Solid since then got weirder and weirder and weirder.
True.
And I didn't like it. The reason I didn't like it is because Metal Gear Solid was pretty grounded. I mean, it had supernatural stuff in it, but it was, for the most part, it was grounded, right?
Military espionage, bullets,
superhero
machines.
kind of, ninja robots, whatever. But it didn't get much weirder than that. But every game got weirder, and to me, that didn't fit, right? A lot of people liked it, but to me, it just, like, the weirder it got, the less I backed away. This franchise just establishes out of the gate that the world is weird. And it's incredibly weird. So if you let that wash over you and you kind of accept this world on its terms, that it's not like anything that's ever come before, it's not going to make quote unquote sense. A lot of it, the storyline will, like your ambitions and your motivations will, but a lot of, like, why is this guy a doll man? Why am I talking to a hologram mannequin? Why is this guy a big fat dude who's a bunch of parts sewn together? Why does this guy have a cat that's made of liquid tar and has wings? It's not all going to make sense, but it just serves the surreal, which is what this game is. It's surreal and it's abstract and it's weird. But then the graphics are amazing. The music is amazing. The gameplay is so incredibly satisfying, not in a traditional way. This is not a game where you're going to run around killing everybody. This is a game where you have to think about the process of getting from point A to point B. So it's all of that. The first Death Stranding was Megadad's Game of the Year when it launched. I'm not far enough in to say that, this is going to be of that pedigree, but 5 hours in, I just want more. I want more. Death Stranding 2 on the beach it's incredible. It's super weird and it's super
burning fun. PS5s. Like
it's burning.
Multiple reports have come out about melting the PS5s and
it is
shutting down systems. According to Tech for Gamers, many players on both base PS5 and Slims are experiencing severe overheating when accessing the game's map screen in particular. So the fan on the console is overloading and eventually shuts down. There's a message that may display saying PlayStation is too hot, turn off now.
Huh? Yeah, I didn't even get that. It was just like, fucker, you're done.
Oh, it didn't even warn you. It's like, bye.
Off. Yeah, it's definitely pushing the limits. It's a beautiful game. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I know there's some folks in our community who love this series from the jump. I know some people in our community tried a couple of times on the original before it really hooked them in. It's different. You got to be willing to accept different, both from a gameplay perspective and a narrative perspective. But I'm really enjoying it. Death Stranding 2 on the beach for the PS5.
This program is powered by Megadad's Boost, our public support program. You can join at patreon.com/Megadads. For over 10 years, Megadads has been bringing you the best in podcasts, reviews, interviews, family fun, and so much more. As an independent media organization, we rely on audience members like you to help support what we do, to ensure that Megadads can continue to bring you the great content that you enjoy. If you've been watching, listening, or playing along through the years, please consider lending your support by becoming a member of Megadad's Boost. Memberships start for as little as $1 a month, and you can start collecting your Boost rewards from day one. Rewards like art cards, early access podcasts, reviews, gameplay clips, and so much more. Please visit patreon.com/Megadads and become a member today. You can help us continue to make more of that Megadads coverage you've loved over the last 10 years well into the future by becoming a member of Megadad's Boost.
And that sound right there that you just heard in your ear is the caboose, where we bring you a recommendation at the end of the show, something outside of the world of games that we think you might enjoy. And given that I had 2 back-to-back 13-hour plane rides, one of those wonderful opportunities afforded to me was to watch a shit ton of movies. I watched a lot of movies, one of which I'm going to recommend right now. It's called Novocaine. Have you heard of Novocaine?
It's about a guy who can't feel pain, right?
That's right. It stars Jack Quaid as a man who has a condition where he cannot feel pain, and he ends up in a kidnapping terrorist plot, and he has to save the girl of his dreams from these bad guys. And he does that by taking advantage of the fact that he can't feel pain. And he goes full force like a battering ram to rescue this girl. It's a super gross movie. It's action-packed, rated R. There are parts in this movie where his gun goes into like a deep fryer, and he just reaches in and grabs it because he can't feel the pain of the scalding hot oil. And then all of a sudden his hand is all like crusty and melty. There's one part where he punches a fistful of glass, and he's got glass shards sticking out of his hand and his arms, and he beats the shit out of this dude in the face. It's hilarious. Like it's done with levity, right? It's funny, but it's very gross, and it's a great hour and a half action romp. That's Novocaine.
Excellent. I am also going to suggest a documentary actually on Netflix. This documentary is called Titan, the Ocean Gate Submarine Disaster.
Oh, so is this the sub that imploded?
This? Yeah, the sub that imploded. So the documentary goes into like the motivations and details, and they go into the court case and kind of key moments from the investigation. For the panel interviews that are severely interesting, behind the scenes like footage of the development of the sub and what people did and when they did it and when did they know it and what the crazy decisions were made. It was very interesting. And, you know, a lot of people understand that this happened. So for a documentary to like keep pulling you, even though like it's a foregone conclusion, like, you know what happens, but explaining the how and the why ends up being jaw-dropping. It actually gets better in the second half, like the more you go, where they get to the real juicy stuff. It gets into the mastermind of everything, the CEO, Stockton Rush, who's one of these like billionaire people who, and like what he did and why he did it. It's just crazy. So Titan on Netflix.
Wow. Super depressing? Or just fascinating?
It's interesting. Like I'm glad that I watched it, and I want to, like, me and my wife were talking about it afterwards, and it's just like incredible. Some of the tidbits in there are really juicy. So definitely take a look.
That's Titan on Netflix, and that's this episode of Megadads Live. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you join us on that Megadads Discord. The link is in the show notes. We will see you next week for an all-new episode of Megadads Live.